Yo, what is good, everybody? And today I'm going to be grading each team's draft. So without further ado, let's get into it. We're going to start with the NFC West and the Arizona Cardinals. I'm going to give them, this is a tough one, I'm going to give them a B-. They just didn't address corner quick enough, in my opinion. They did end up getting Marco Wilson and Tay Gowan, who I do like Tay Gowan, less like Marco Wilson, even though I do love the Florida football team. He's just been getting worse every year, but they didn't address corner quick enough. And what I mean by that is they need a starting caliber corner right away. I don't think Tay Gowan or Marco Wilson is that. They did get Zaven Collins round one when Gregory Newsome or even a Caleb Farley was still available. Even Eric Stokes. I'd probably take over Zaven Collins in round one, especially when you add positional need to that. Rondale Moore in round two was a good pick, I think. Give Kyler Murray some more weapons to play with, but at the same time, corner's more important at that point, so that's why I give it a B-. Let's go and find the next AFC West team here. I see the LA Rams. We're going to go with them. This team's draft I really hated. I'm going to give them a C. Chatarius Atwell in the second round is just a reach. Played at 149 pounds, very small guy. Even though he's really, really fast, he can fly. Just durability concerns. You think Devontae Smith's weight is a concern? Then Tutu Atwell at 149 pounds should be a concern. Ernest Jones, not a terrible pick. Don't hate it. But this team also had really has some holes on the offensive line. Dudes are getting old for them, especially at tackle, and you really need to address the offensive line for the future at least. So, C is my grade for them. Next up, we see Seattle here. Seattle, this is a tough one as well. They only had 3 picks. I'll give them a B- here. They only had 3 picks. Dwayne Eskridge is a really good player. I like that pick. Trey Brown, good corner, good pick, I think. And Stone Forsythe, just get depth on the offensive line. Why not? So, I don't hate this draft at all. I mean, they only had 3 picks, so it's kind of hard to grade. And based on that, I'll give them a B-. San Francisco, last team in this division. I'm going to give it a B- as well. I am happy that they picked Trey Lance here instead of Mac Jones, but picking Aaron Banks in the second round, that's a hell of a reach if I've ever seen one. That's just not good value whatsoever when you've got offensive linemen who are still available, a Tevin Jenkins, for example. Why take this guy? He's just not that great of a player comparatively to the rest of the offensive line class. Then you take Trey Sermon round 3 after you have 7 running backs on the roster already. Obviously, that's a hyperbole, but come on. You got Jeff Wilson, you've got Raheem Mostert, and you've got Jerick McKinnon, and you signed Wayne Gallman in free agency. How many damn RBs do you need? Third round pick could be used on something way, way more valuable than just another depth running back. And then to top it off, you get a running back in the 6th round again. How many running backs do you need? That pissed me off, and that's why I'm ducking it to a B-. We'll go with the AFC East here. Really good drafts all around there. First, we'll talk about the Jets. I really, really love the Jets draft, and I'm giving them an A for it. They got their QB, franchise QB, hopefully. They got Elijah Vera Tucker, traded up for him to get protection for that QB, which I really like. Then they get 2 weapons for the QB, Elijah Moore and Michael Carter, who are really, really good players. Michael Carter is insanely elusive at running back. He's a steal in the 4th round, in my opinion. Elijah Moore, good value there. That's probably where I see him, about 2nd round pick. Really good value, really great route runner, slot guy, another weapon for Zach Wilson. Then you go down and you see a Hamza Nasirildeen. I don't know if I pronounced his name correctly, but I saw him at Florida State, and this dude can play box safety extremely, extremely well. Maybe even play some linebacker for them. And they got another Michael Carter, which is pretty funny. They've got two of them. Next up, we see the New England Patriots, so we'll talk about them. The Patriots did a pretty good job, I think. They did. And so I'm going to give them a B+ here. They got their franchise QB. That's exactly what Belichick wants, a Mac Jones type of guy. They got Barmore in the second round, really great value to play D tackle. They could coach him up. Then in the third round, they go out and get a defensive end, Ronnie Perkins. He's a really NFL-ready edge rusher. I don't know if he can do much else other than that, and he's a little bit small for the position, but he's a really, really great edge rusher. So I really like this pick. They got McGrone, which is great value in the fifth round. Cover linebacker, really, really athletic. So if they can develop him, he could be really good. Ramondre Stevenson, I don't know if he's a fourth-round pick, but they just get depth at RB. Don't mind that whatsoever. So I really like this draft. I'm giving it a B. Miami had an incredible draft, in my opinion, and that's why I'm giving them an A as well. They got Jalen Waddle, really great pick to help Tua. Jalen Phillips, two Jalen's. This pick I really like as well. Best edge rusher in the class. Javon Holland really helped that secondary, second best safety in this class. Really great pick. Liam Eichenberg, get protection for Tua. Really good value in the second round. Hunter Long, another tight end. Don't know about this pick because they already have Mike Gesicki. I don't know about that one. So, but just these top four picks are really, really great. These could all be just first day starters for them, and really impact this team and help it out a lot. Last in this division, we got the Buffalo Bills. I dislike their draft a lot. I'm going to give them a C+. Gregory Rousseau is a huge reach in the first round. Boogie Basham in the second, I like the pick. Spencer Brown in the third, I really like the pick a lot. Developmental tackle. Why not take a chance on a guy? But the rest of the picks down the line, I don't like. Just a C+ draft. If you only have two really good picks out of how many here, just not good. Especially when you pick Gregory Rousseau in the first round, who I really dislike. Even though I did mock that to them earlier, he's just been falling down boards because he's really not as athletic as people thought. Let's go to the AFC North here. Start off with the Baltimore Ravens. I really, really liked their draft here. Really liked it. I'm going to give them a B+. No, I'll give them an A-. We got Rashad Bateman. Super, super great pick. That's exactly what the type of receiver that Lamar needs. Odafe Owe, otherwise known as Jason Owe, is going by Odafe now. Developmental edge rusher. Really like it as well. Especially at the Ravens, who really are known to be able to teach pass rushers to be able to be really, really good. Ben Cleveland, I like this pick as a guard. Not very lengthy, but as a guard, it matters a lot less than tackle. So I think he'll be good there. I like this Tylan Wallace pick as well. He's a very, very good receiver that stretches the field. Really good deep threat, can go up and high point the football. And Shaun Wade could be a pretty good slot corner. He has terrible tape on the outside, but his slot tape isn't that bad. So he could become a really fine slot corner if you want him to put him there. So I don't mind that pick at all either. So overall, A-. We've got Cincinnati here. Let's talk about them. I'm going to give the Bengals a B. Just, you take Jamar Chase first round, and then you take Jackson Carman second round. I would rather have Penei Sewell first round, who's available, and Terrace Marshall in the second round, who's available. So that could have been the other situation that they could have went with. But instead they went Jamar Chase first round, and they had a good chance to get a Tevin Jenkins second round and really, really salvage this. And I think Jamar Chase and Tevin Jenkins is on par or maybe even better than Penei Sewell and Terrace Marshall. But they instead took Jackson Carman, who's just a really big reach here. I think he'll end up playing guard for them because I don't see him as a tackle at the next level. But that really tanked my draft a little bit, even though Jamar Chase is a really, really incredible talent. Osai in the third round is really great value there, and I really like that pick as well. So that's not bad. I like Tyler Shelvin down the board, and same with Cam Sample. But just the two first picks, when you could have got Sewell and Terrace Marshall, kind of bugged me. Cleveland had a really, really, really good draft. I'm going to give them a B+ for this. I like this I love this Greg Newsome pick. Really helps their secondary, especially with Greedy Williams, who's a question mark still. JOK in the second round, pick 20 in the second round. That is just exceptional value there. He'll help out that defense extremely a lot. Then you've got Anthony Schwartz. I don't like this pick. I think it's sort of a reach, especially for a guy who just is only good at running straight fast. That's really what he's good at. But, he could really help the offense. Maybe force teams to not stack the box against Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, so that could be good. But I think it's a reach. I think you could have got him 4th or 5th round for sure, maybe even 6th. I love this Tommy Togiai pick too, though. He's a really good defensive tackle. And then I like the Richard LeCount and Demetric Felton picks. Felton could be a really good slot/running back. He can be a gadget player for them. I really like that. And LeCount, he didn't test well, but he played faster on tape, so he could be a pretty good player, especially if he keeps playing faster on tape. Pittsburgh Steelers, I dislike this draft a lot. I'm going to give them a C. Actually, I'm going to give them a C-. Najee Harris, first pick. You got so many offensive linemen available. If your offensive line is bad, your running back is doomed to fail. If you have an average to bad running back and a great offensive line, your bad to average running back will produce a lot. If you have a terrible offensive line and a great running back, your great running back won't produce very well. And that's just been true throughout history. So why take a running back in the first round when you got a ton of offensive linemen still available, and maybe even a cornerback in Greg Newsome who's still available? I just don't like this pick whatsoever, even though Najee Harris is an incredible talent. I just don't see why they did this. Pratt Freiermuth, second round, same, pretty much the same thing. Great talent, really good tight end. But why are you addressing tight end when your offensive line is garbage, as I said earlier? Your tight end does not matter unless you have a good offensive line. If your quarterback is getting sacked, your receivers don't matter. So that's why you got to pick offensive line there. Then you go Kendrick Green in the third round. Good pick, but it's too late now. These guys are not starters down here. Quincy Roche in the 6th is really, really, really good value, so I like that pick. But other than that, they just did a terrible job and then picked a punter in the 7th round. Just a waste of a pick. So let's go to the NFC South here. Start with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I kind of like the Bucs draft. I'm gonna go with a B here. B-. Never mind. B-. Joe Tryon, I like the pick. Not bad. Developmental edge. Keep getting younger on the defensive line. Always a good situation. Kyle Trask, maybe a bit of a reach, but I like Kyle Trask, and I think that under Tom Brady, he can learn a lot, become more accurate, and become a better leader than he already is. And I think he could become a actually very good starter in the NFL, especially learning from Tom Brady. I also like this Jalen Darden pick out of North Texas. He just destroyed corners, even though not the greatest competition, but I like that pick. Not bad whatsoever. So I give them a B-. Would have liked to see them address the interior of the offensive line. Maybe the secondary a bit more, but not bad. Here's the New Orleans Saints. We'll talk about them. A lot of Saints fans were really, really pissed about their draft, and I could see why, but I'm not as pissed. I'm going to give them a B minus as well. Peyton Turner. Maybe a bit of a reach, but not a terrible pick. He's a developmental edge. He's super, super athletic, and he could be really good at the next level. Pete Werner. I like the pick in the second round, especially at the end of the second round. Inside linebacker, really high motor, leader of that defense at Ohio State, really hard worker. And guess what? You're getting Paulson Adebo at number 3. That's an incredible pick right there. Incredible. He could have been a second round pick, and you get him at 3 in the third round. It's really, really good. He's a zone corner, and he can work there in New Orleans. Fourth pick, though, Ian Book. That tanked their draft for me. Made it a B minus. Ian Book is just, I have no idea what you're doing there. Just not a good talent. He's never going to be a starter in the NFL. The Panthers. I'm going to give them a B here. I like the I like the Terrace Marshall pick a lot. J.C. Horn, I like because he's a really, really great talent. And they did have a need at corner, even though it wasn't their biggest need. In my opinion, offensive line was. But they ended up getting Brady Christensen in the third round, which is really incredible value there. He'll be a really, really good player for them, in my opinion. And they got Deonte Brown in the sixth, which, again, exceptional value. He's a big-bodied defender. He can really, not defender. He's a big-bodied offensive lineman who could be really good at the next level. He could be a starting player. So maybe not in year 1, but he could be down the road, and that's really great value in the 6th round. You got Chuba Hubbard, change of pace back with McCaffrey. Not bad there. Davion Nixon, I really like this guy. In the 5th round as well, really great pick. And Keith Taylor as well in the 5th. Awesome pick there. So I really like this draft, and that's why I'm going to give it a B+. I might have said B earlier, but now that I'm looking at it a little bit more, I'm going to give it a B+. I think J.C. Horn, he could have went O-line in the 1st round, which I think they should have. Other than that, love this draft. Terrace Marshall, great pick as well. And last but not least, in this conference or this division, we've got the Falcons. And the Falcons, I'm giving them a B-. Don't hate the draft, but I don't love it either. Kyle Pitts, great pick. Richie Grant, great pick. Jalen Mayfield, pretty good pick. But the rest is just not good. And I think Kyle Pitts, I mean, he's the best player available there, and I understand why you take that. But at the same time, your defense has been bad for a super, super long time, and that's been your need. That's been causing you to lose every single year since the Super Bowl. So I think you have to address defense first. Mayfield in the 3rd is pretty good value, and Richie Grant is a really good player on defense, which I like. Frank Darby, decent player in the 6th round to pick up as well. So let's go to the NFC North, and let's start off with the Chicago Bears. The Bears, I think, did a really, really good job. I'm going to give them an A-, especially with these first 2 picks, Justin Fields and Tevin Jenkins. They didn't have many. They didn't have many picks in the mid rounds because they ended up having 1st and 2nd, but then 5th. But Justin Fields, trading up for him, really, really smart. Great job to get your franchise QB. Tevin Jenkins in the 2nd round, exceptional value there for offensive tackle. You really need that guy. Your offensive line is just not great. Really smart to get to him. I like the Khalil Herbert pick, change of pace back with David Montgomery. I like the Daz Newsome pick. Why not get your young QB another weapon? And last but not least, the Khyiris Tonga pick was really, really good. I don't know if I pronounced his name correctly, but in the 7th round, that's really good value, and I love it. Next, Detroit Lions. Detroit. Your franchise is terrible, but guess what? Your draft, it's getting an A- for me. Really great job. Penei Sewell, super great pick right there. Levi Onwuzurike and Aleem McNeil. They're opposite type players. Onwuzurike is more of a rushing D tackle, and Aleem McNeil is more of a nose tackle. So that's really good picks. And you look at it, you see D tackle twice. Like, why are you taking 2 D tackles? But they're opposite players, and they could be really, really good on that defensive line for the Detroit Lions. Then you get Ifeatu Melifonwu in the 3rd round. Exceptional value there. And Amon-Ra St. Brown in the 4th round. Really good value as well. I love these 2 picks here. This one helps their defense. This one gives Goff a weapon, which is really important. You just traded for him. So I give their draft an A-. Really good job from them, which is rare to see. Very rare to see. 3rd, you got the Green Bay Packers. The Packers did a terrible job. I'm going to give them a C+. I just didn't like their draft. I'm fine with Eric Stokes in the 1st round. Corner's a huge need. But you got to address your run defense later. Getting Josh Myers in the 2nd round is a reach if I've ever seen one, especially when Creed Humphrey was available, I'm pretty sure. Amari Rodgers, decent pick in the 3rd. But other than that, it's just not good whatsoever. So that's why I'm giving them a C+. Vikings are the last team here. I'll talk about them. For me, they get an A-. I think they did a really good job, especially when you get Darrisaw. That was just incredible. If they picked Darrisaw at 14, I would have said, wow, good value, really good pick, good job by them. But they traded down 9 picks and were still able to get the same guy that they would have picked at 14. So that is just really, really impressive GMing, if that's a word, by the Vikings GM right there. You trade down and you get the same player would have got at the higher position. Really good job. Kellen Mond, developmental QB. I don't know if this is the greatest pick, but I love Kellen Mond as a player, so I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt. And guess what? You get to sit under Kirk Cousins for a couple of years maybe, and maybe you get the starting job after a while and can be a really good quarterback. Chaz Surratt, really good player. I think this is where about he should go, so I like that pick. Wyatt Davis, I really like this pick as well. He is a decent guard, pretty good guard. I think he was a 2nd rounder, maybe late 2nd rounder. But you got him in the late 3rd, so that's really good value, and I really like that pick. 3rd round again, you got Patrick Jones, which is another incredible pick. He'll be really good, I think. He's more developmental, but he's really fast off the line, and I think if they can develop him there, he could be really an impact player for that team. So, we've got the AFC South, 2nd to last, and then the NFC East. So in the AFC South, we'll start with the Indianapolis Colts here. The Colts are tough to judge. I don't like this draft. I'm giving it a C. Kwity Paye is a good pick first. Then you get Dayo Odeyingbo. I don't even know how to pronounce his name. There's a lot better edge rushers ahead of him, in my opinion. You get him in the 2nd round, really bad. Not a great pick for me. Sam Ehlinger in the 6th. You could take a shot on him, but he's just not. I could see him as a career backup QB. He's just not very good. Other than that, I don't think there's much else to talk about. I'm giving it a C. Jacksonville, I'm going to give a B. You got Trevor Lawrence 1st round, really good pick. I mean, it's obvious though. 2nd round, 1st round, pick 25. This is the one that pissed me off. ETN, why are you doing this? You've got James Robinson, a 1,000-yard rusher, and 344-yard receiver. So he's a really good, super young running back who's undrafted, so you're paying him peanuts. Why draft a 1st-round running back who you have to pay and might not even be, is probably more talented, but might not even produce as much as James Robinson did? I don't like that pick at all. You could have addressed defense. You could have addressed safety, maybe D-tackle, maybe even offensive line with the tackle, maybe Tevin Jenkins there. And then this next pick in the 2nd round, Tyson Campbell. don't love it as well. He's a developmental corner. And this team is actually kind of sort of looking to win now. I think they could be a pretty good team next year if they played the draft right, which they played it okay, but not great. I give them a B. As I said before, Walker Little I like. I don't know if he's a second rounder, maybe late second rounder, third rounder, but he's a good player, so I don't mind that pick. Andre Cisco I like as a pick. They needed to pick a safety, so that was pretty good. And J. Tufele, he's a good pick as well. He's a nose tackle, and he's a rotational guy, so I really like that pick. So that kind of salvaged it. Cisco and Tufele, and obviously Trevor Lawrence, even Walker Little were good picks. So that's why I give it a B. They had a chance to have an A+ if they played their cards right, just didn't decide to. And the Houston Texans, C+. Davis Mills. I mean, if you got to start him, if you have to start him next year, it's not a bad pick because Kellen Mond just got picked ahead of him, one pick ahead of him. So that's not terrible. You got Nico Collins in the third round. Not a terrible pick for a third rounder, but it just, I don't understand what they're doing here. I just don't. They have no picks whatsoever at all. They lost all their picks, and this draft just looks so bad on paper. Brevin Jordan in the 5th round. He's just not like what you need. Why are you picking a tight end? As a rebuilding team, you have to pick lines, corners, quarterback. Yeah, that's it. Lines, corners, both lines, corners, quarterback. Those are the most important positions. They got quarterback, but they didn't get lines. They got a D tackle in the 6th round, but more edge than D tackle is more important. I should say that. Edge, offensive line, quarterback. And they only got one of those things. Not good. Not good. And last but not least in their division, we've got the Tennessee Titans. I'm going to give them a B-. I like the Caleb Farley and Dylan Radune's picks. Both are impact players that could be really good at the next level. I'm okay with the Monty Rice pick. I think there were better linebackers still available. Maybe a Jabril Cox there. I like the Elijah Molden pick as well. Pretty good pick. So, I'm going to up their score. I'm going to give them a B+ here. Pretty good draft, solid draft all around. Let's go to the NFC East. First, we got the Philadelphia Eagles. And guess what? The Eagles, I hate them, but they did a pretty good job, especially with their first 3 picks. Getting Devontae Smith, fill a huge hole with a dynamic playmaker at wide receiver. Landon Dickerson, again, if he's not injured, he's going to be a great center for them. And Milton Williams, super athletic defensive tackle who is developmental, but he could be really good at the next level if you develop him. Kenneth Gainwell, the running back, pretty good pick as well to get a change of pace back with Miles Sanders there. Don't mind the Jacoby Stevens pick or the Patrick Johnson pick. Pretty good picks. So yeah, I like their draft. Really good from them, even though I dislike their franchise. Next, the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys, I'm gonna give them. I hate them, obviously, and that might be going into this. But guess what? This draft was a bad one. This is a C+ for me. Micah Parsons, really good talent, not a cornerback. Kelvin Joseph, a cornerback, but more developmental. I don't know. Punched a coach in the face. Not great. 3rd round, Osa Odighizuwa. Pretty good pick, but is that really what you want? A D tackle in the 3rd round? I don't know. I think you got to address corner once again. Maybe offensive line, which you haven't addressed, and that's really important. Nahshon Wright, terrible pick in the 3rd round. He's a 6th rounder. He's a 6th round pick. He's developmental, super developmental, just terrible. Jabril Cox, probably best player available here, but still, you have four linebackers who are really, really all similar and have the same type of talents. But what are you doing there? Like, Jabril Cox won't see the field, whereas on another team he would be able to. So why pick that? Josh Ball, just a waste of a pick, in my opinion. Israel Mukuamu, pretty good pick down here. Matt Farniok, I don't know who that is. Did not expect him to be drafted whatsoever. And Simi Fehoko, decent pick. But overall, C+, not good at all. We got the Washington football team. I'm going to give them a B-. I think they did a pretty good job, but not great. I think Jamin Davis was their worst pick, even though it's a good pick. It's a pretty, not their worst pick, actually. It's a little bit of a reach, but it's a pretty good pick in my opinion because he's a really athletic coverage linebacker who could be very, very good at the next level, and it fills a big need there. You got Sam Cosmi in the second round, which is super, super huge there. I thought he was a first-round player in my opinion, but he fell to the second. Washington football team got him, and they really need tackles. Benjamin St-Juste, I think that's a bit of a reach there, but not terrible. Dyami Brown, I love this pick in the third round. That is really incredible value. And Shaka Toney in the seventh is really great value in my opinion. So overall, what did I give him? A B-? That seems about right. And finally, last but not least, the New York Football Giants, my favorite team. I'm gonna give them an A-. And you know, if I wasn't a little bit biased, I'd probably give them a B+. So you know, I'll give them a B++, in the middle of A- and B+. I love the Kadarius Toney pick. I've been high on this dude ever since I watched him at Florida. Incredible route runner. No one moves like he does. I'm going to say that again. And guess what? This dude is literally the human joystick out there. Can juke anyone. Makes crazy, crazy moves. Azeez Ojulari in the second round. Maybe one of the best value picks of this draft. Defensive end was, or edge, not defensive end. Edge was a huge, huge need for this New York Giants team, and I knew they wanted to address that need in this draft, and they did with Azeez Ojulari, arguably the second best edge rusher in this draft. I think he is. So getting him in the second round, super, super huge. Aaron Robinson, pretty good pick in the third. He could be a right away starter at slot corner, even though I do love Darnay Holmes, and he might have to beat him out for that. Allerson Smith in the fourth, another edge rusher. I love this pick too because he's super, super long and athletic, and he's developmental, but why not take a chance on that in the fourth round? Sixth, Gary Brightwell. I think that's a throwaway pick. I don't really like it. And sixth again, Rodarius Williams. I like that pick because I think that's very good value for him there, and I also think that he's also a developmental corner, and why not just build on depth in the secondary. But yeah, B++. I think the one thing they could have done is address the offensive line. But other than that, I really, really love this draft, and I understand why they didn't address the offensive line because they did last draft with by picking 3 offensive linemen. So let those guys develop. Maybe they think they have some really good guys in that group. Now let's move on to the AFC West. First, we've got the Broncos. I like this draft. It was pretty good. It was pretty good. I really liked it, especially after the first round. I do not think that they needed corner very much. They signed Ronald Darby and Kyle Fuller in free agency. They've got Michael Ojemudia and Bryce Callahan. So I think their depth at corner is already good. So I don't know if they'll be able to play all 5 of those guys that I just mentioned and Patrick Surtain. But other than that, I really, really, really like their draft. And I think that other than that, I really loved it. So I'd give it probably a B, probably a B. Yeah, that's where I see it. Don't love the Javonte Williams pick. Pretty decent, though. He's a really, really good talent. They don't have the best running backs. Melvin Gordon, Philip Lindsay. Don't love those guys. Quinn Miners, I really like that pick as well. He dominated the Senior Bowl. And Baron Browning's a pretty good pick. He's super, super athletic as an outside linebacker. Seth Williams, don't hate it as well, just to get receiver depth. Really good talent, especially for the 6th round. Moving on to Kansas City. Kansas City had a really good draft for the amount of picks that they had. So I give it an A-. I like Nick Bolton, super athletic inside linebacker, who's a really, really good run defender. Can't really cover yet, but I think they can develop him there. Creed Humphrey in the 2nd round is exceptional value, especially at the end of the 2nd round. Really build that O-line to help Patrick Mahomes. And Trey Smith in the 6th round is a super great value. Again, building the O-line to help protect Patrick Mahomes. I see Trey Smith as more of a 3rd or 4th rounder, so getting him in the 6th is incredible value as well. Let's move on to the Vegas Raiders. I'm going to give them a B as well. Leatherwood just starting it off pretty badly there. Trevon Merrick, very good pick in the 2nd round, great value. Malcolm Kuntz, I like that pick. Divine Diablo, maybe a little high for him, but that's around where I see him going. And Tyree Gillespie is a pretty good pick, but drafting 3 safeties, and that's just a little too much, a little bit of a overkill there. Malcolm Kuntz I like, super athletic edge defender, so I give it a B. Last but not least in this division, we've got the LA Chargers. I really, really, really like this draft. Especially the first 2 picks. Trey McKitty I like there. Even Larry Roundtree has good running back depth after Austin Eckler. Chris Rumph isn't bad as an edge defender. And even Nick Niemann as a rotational linebacker. So I'm going to give them an A- for their draft. I think Josh Palmer was a bit of a reach, so that ducks it a little bit. But yeah, I really like their draft. Rashawn Slater, exceptional value. Asante Samuel, really good value there. So yeah, I'm going to end it here. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Do you guys agree with me? What would you grade your team's draft? So without further ado, I'm going to end this. Peace.